Food, Baruch Hashem, the food is going to keep coming, Emir Hashem, during this year. And again, there's plenty of wine, plenty of everything. We'll give all of our thank yous, Emir Hashem, a little bit later, as there are many, many people, actually not so many people, a few people, actually very few people who helped to make this, seem so beautiful. But we'll do all of those thank yous, Emir Hashem, a little bit later on. But let's focus on the task at hand, which is, not ready? Yeah, I can't. Is that all right?
Yeah, that's the perfect.
How about if I just go like that and like that? Yeah.
It's all about marriage.
Yeah, I can't do it like in the face thing. It's good. It's perfect. Good. Is she good?
Yeah, small room. We're gonna wait like 5 minutes and bring out plates. Like I said, take it slow.
Right.
Set up plates
and bring it all out. Okay, Chevra, there's going to be more food coming out in just a few moments. I'm sorry, during Shir? Yeah. During Shir? Let's say this is the test. This is the test, right? There's going to be good food coming out, but there's even more beautiful Torah that's coming out. So we're going to be looking. We're going to be looking. The whole thing is recorded. We're going to see who's paying attention to what. So Amir Hashem will play it back later. Everybody will say, let's begin. So on a serious note, I'll give all the thank yous a little bit later on, but what a schos, what a beautiful Ma'ariv, B'mincha Ma'ariv we had on the water, Baruch Hashem, and like I said, there are a number of people that I'm going to thank later on for making this beautiful siyum come together. But it is such a schos, Baruch Hashem, to be able to misayim this mesechta together with everyone. So I will say, let us begin. We'll have more to say, Mir Hashem, a little bit later on. And welcome to all of those who are joining us on Zoom, and welcome to all of those who are joining us on YouTube. It's a schos, Baruch Hashem, to be able to learn with those in person and those virtually. So I will say, we find ourselves, and the good news is, we're actually going to finish Baba Kama tonight. So this actually is. I'm not going to give any homework. I'm not going to leave anything till tomorrow. There's not going to be a makeup shir. This is it. This is it. So we find ourselves, I'm sorry? Bli neder, right? So we find ourselves on Daf Kuf Yotes Amud Beis, 119b, and we are picking up, I believe we left off Tan Rabbanon? Yeah. Good. Tan Rabbanon. So we'll say, so Kuf Yotes 119b, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 lines down from the top. Tan Rabbanon. Ein lochin naseh. So let's remember again, just to reorient ourselves a little bit, although we just learned this morning, but just to reorient ourselves a little bit. So remember again, the Mishnah was discussing the fascinating concept that if a craftsman does work with particular materials, what is he permitted to keep? Like in other words, there's always, whether it's somebody who combs the wool, someone who launders the wool, very often there is surplus that comes out. So what is the craftsman permitted to keep versus what is he obligated to go ahead and give back to the balabos? So Mar says, so you can't take, we'll say the sorik is the comber, the one who combs the wool. You can't go ahead and take from him woolen tufts, because those tufts of wool really belong to the balabayis and not to the sorik. I will say, of course, the one great caveat in this entire sugya is really this whole thing is based on minhag hamakom, right? All of this is really based on whatever local common practice is. So the Mishnah is kind of espousing things in a vacuum, but at the end of the day, if the minhag hamakom is that the craftsman could keep this, the balabayis could keep this, then of course all of that governs. So generally, you're not allowed to purchase tufts of wool from the wool comber because it generally belongs to the balabayis. However, again, halach l'maiso makom shenagu lio shelo lochin ubechol makom lochin mehen kar malei muchin ukeses malei muchin. So we'll say, interestingly enough, but wherever you live, you are allowed to go ahead and purchase from the wool comber, the guy who combs the wool, you're allowed to go ahead and purchase from him a pillow or a mattress filled with wool. What's the reason? My taima kaninu b'shinui. Because this is actually very interesting. We've seen this many times. That halacha l'maisa, even if it turns out that he did go ahead and steal it, nevertheless, the ganav has been kona the item with a shinu. We've seen this already before. This concept that when a person steals something, so gzela by itself may or may not affect kinyan, but certainly shinui, changing the item, definitely affects the kinyan. So even for argument's sake, if the wool comber, let's say he is a ganav, but the act of taking the wool that he combed, the excess wool, transforming it into a pillow or into a mattress is a shinui, is a change, and he acquires the object through that change. Let's go back there. Ein lochin megardi, so we'll say now a weaver. Guy's a weaver. What can you purchase from the weaver? What can't you purchase from the weaver? So, sorry. In lochin megardi, you can't purchase from the weaver. Lo irin, velo nidin, velo punkalin. So we'll say a literal translation is woolen stoppers, heddles, or bobbins. These are all different parts, ultimately, again, of the loom, and different things that you go ahead and you create from wool. Velo shiripikios. You also can't go ahead and purchase from him any leftover from the spools of thread. Avalochin mehen beged menumer. What you can about is very interesting. What can you purchase from the weaver? A spotted garment. Rashi points out, what's the pshat for the spotted garment? This is incredible. What's a spotted garment? A spotted garment is a garment that is made from a number of different leftover patches of wool. So the chap is, even if he stole it, he went ahead and he acquired it ultimately again through a shinui. Incredible. Let's go back there. Erev v'shasi tavi v'arig. So you could also purchase from him, again, something that's the warp and the woof, spun and woven. Amri hash tavi shakli arug mibai. So if you can go ahead and take something that was spun, certainly you could take something that was woven, you could purchase from him. So the Gemara says, my arig, what does it mean? Arig, tichi. Rashi says, what's tichi? Both say Rashi's on both sides of the page over here. So Rashi says, tichi sharsharos. These are literally rings that are made out of wool. So you'd be able to purchase that from him as well. So we'll say if a person is a dyer, so you can't go ahead and purchase from the dyer. Lo osos, thank you very much, thank you. Lo osos velo dugmos. No, don't look up from your Gemaras. Don't look up. Keep your eyes on the Gemara. Come on, Chavra. This is mamish to nisayna olam hazeh. So the Gemara says as follows. So you can't go ahead. So you can't. If someone is a dyer, right? D-Y-E-R. So if someone is a dyer, you can't purchase from him laosos, right? Samples. Osos are like sample patches. Velo dugmos. Dugmos also, Rashi points out over here, osos, I'm sorry. We'll say generally when you would go ahead and bring something to the dyer to dye, so often what would happen is before you would go ahead and commit to something, you would give him like a little, I don't know what the technical term is, but like a little piece of thread to see how the dye took to the, what is it? A sample. No, but isn't it like a technical, like a swatch? Swatch. Okay, good. Or a sample, right? So the idea over here is also, so again, you can't purchase from the tzava. You can't purchase the so the osos, like the little pieces of thread to see how or the little pieces of wool to see how the dye took. Velo dugmos, samples. Velo telushim shel tzemer, or pieces removed from the entire wool. Avalochim mehen beget tzavo. What can you purchase? You can purchase a dyed garment. We'll say once again, because even if it's stolen, technically speaking, the thief acquires it with the shinui. Tavi begadim. So we'll say ultimately, if you have garments made of spun thread, if you could take something made out of spun thread, then it goes without saying that of course you could purchase the garment itself. So the Gemara says, my begadim, what's begadim? Namti, something made out of felt. Okay, Tanabanon, hanosin oros la'abdon. So the Gemara says, let's say a person goes ahead. Person gives hides to a tanner to go ahead and tan the hide. So what's the halacha? So Gemara says hakitzun v'hatalushin hare'elu shalo. So Rashi points out over here, what are kitzun and talushin? Rashi says kitzun shemekatzeh mina or saviv. Those are the little like threads of leather that you go ahead and you cut off the hides. That's the kitzun. And talushin, Rashi points out, is the wool that comes separated off the hide itself. So kitzun v'hatalushin hare'elu shabalabayis. Those belong to the balabayis. But any wool that comes out when washing the hide itself, ultimately those belong to the craftsman. Fine. So the Mishnah said that if halacha l'maisa, there were, let's say, black threads on the woolen garments, on the white garments, you could take all the black threads for yourself. The merchant, the worker could take all the black threads. Amar Yehuda, kitzra shmei. We'll say the person who goes ahead and evens out the garment, he's called the kitzra. Rashi says over kitzra shmei hakobes. A launderer was also called the kitzra. So the Gemara says the kitzra shakilei. So the Gemara says, why is he called the kitzra? Because he goes ahead and he takes for himself all of the different extending threads. Amar Yehuda hakol ola leminyan tcheles. So this is actually interesting halacha, which we're not going to get very much into tonight. But the concept is that the Rashi quotes the Gemara Maseches Menachos that tzitzis itself has to be distanced from the edge of the garment a certain amount. The threads that hang off the edge of the garment are taken into account with that particular measurement. I'm Rav Yehuda, Hakol min tcheles v'Yitzchak beri. Yitzchak, my son, kaped iluya, is very makbid on this. He's very makbid on this. Okay. So we'll say, so remember again, the Mishnah said that if the tailor leaves behind the thread, so the kama litfar. So we'll say, so remember again, the halacha was if he leaves behind enough thread to go ahead and sew the garment. So the Gemara says as follows. So the Gemara says, Amar Avasi, malay machat chutz lamachat. So the Gemara said over here that halacha l'maisa, how much does he go ahead and have to, or how much does he leave over? He leaves over a needle's worth chutz lamachat, and an additional amount that extends past the end of the needle. So the Gemara says, Ibailu, Kash on the shear. So Mali Mechat v'chutz lamechat kamali mechat, al dilma Mali Mechat v'chutz lamechat mashu. So we'll say when we speak about this additional amount that it leaves over, how much is it? Is it a needle's length of thread plus an additional needle's length of thread, or just a small amount of additional thread? All right, so Tashma, the Sanya Chayet Sheshira Sachut, Pachot Mikadei Litfarbo. So we'll say, so the Gemara calls the Braisa that if the tailor left over thread, pachos mikadei litfarbo, less than enough to be able to use for any type of meaningful type of sewing, or for that matter, a piece of thread that was less than 3 by 3 finger breadths. So when the balabais is makbid, so the balabais gets it back. Ein balabais makbid alein. What happens if the balabais is not makbid on it? Then hari elu shalo. Then ultimately, again, they belong to the tailor. So the Gemara says, let's analyze this. So I'll say, if you hold that Allah we're talking about an amount of thread, right? That is the amount of thread, the size of the needle, plus an additional amount. The size, in other words, the additional amount is also the additional amount. In other words, both sides, the excess thread is the thread that goes in the needle plus an additional needle's length of thread. So pachas mikan, so even if it's a little bit less than this, chazi l'sichsa, then I both say it is still ra'i, it's still usable, ultimately to go ahead and stitch a loop. But I will say if all it is just the needle's length of thread and just a little bit of an additional amount of thread, then what is that additional amount that you're good? Then what is that additional amount of thread usable for? Then what is it usable for? The Gemara says, so we'll say, what do you see from here? You see from here that halacha l'maisa, when the Mishnah talks about the amount of excess thread, it's the thread the size of a needle plus an additional needle's length of thread. Good. Last piece in Maseches Baba Kama. So Rabbi say, let's go. Here we go. Mashachar. So what says, remember again, the last part of the Mishnah was what a carpenter. What does a carpenter get to keep versus what does the carpenter have to give to the balabais? The Gemara says as follows. Or minu. Mashachar shmotzi b'matzad v'nifsak b'megira hare elu shabalabais. So the Brisa says as follows: that which the carpenter goes ahead and creates with the A's. We spoke about this before. A-D-Z-E. We saw this morning. The A's. That which he goes ahead and creates with the A's, v'anifsak b'megira, or that which he goes and creates with the megira. We'll see what that means in just a moment. Hara elu shabalabais. These all belong to the balabais. I will say, just the way to understand this is as follows. Essentially with the carpenter, here's what it comes down to. When the carpenter is working with wood, if he creates larger wood chips, then ultimately, again, those are going to belong to the balabais. Smaller wood chips or shavings, bepashtos, those are going to belong to the carpenter himself. Hayotzi mitachas mekadeach umitachas ritani. So any wood chips or anything that comes out from under a drill or from under a plane, that which comes from a saw, hare elu shalo, these belong to the carpenter. So I will say, so this contradicts the Mishnah. Amarava, it's not a contradiction. Ba'asra detana didan, iketarti chatzini. So I will say, according to the author of our Mishnah, there are really two different types of instruments that were used ultimately again to saw wood. L'rabasi karle kshil, the larger instrument they called an axe, ulezutrasi karle matzad, and the smaller instrument they called what we call, an aze. Ba'asra the Tana Bara, but in the place of the Tana of the Braisa, Chadu, there was really only one kind of chopping, or we'll call it chopping carpentry instrument, Dika Vakarli Matzad. Okay, so essentially the Gemara answers, the Braisa and the Mishnah talk about the usage of two different types of instruments. Alright, both say, this is really the last part of Baba Kama. This is it. Here we go. Both say, it's actually, we're going to see, David Schwartz said to me today, This is how we're ending Baba Kama. Like, I don't know, it's a 119-day journey, and it's like a lot of technicalities. What can you keep? What can't you keep? Watch this. Watch this. And so the Mishnah said, remember, the Mishnah said, well, say, in all of these cases, what the craftsman, right, the bottom line of the sugya is, the shaila is, what could the craftsman keep versus what does the craftsman have to give back to the balabais? So I will say, so a lot of this has to do with just minhag hamakom, whatever the common practice was. But bottom line, the Mishnah says, is if the craftsman is working in front of the balabais, then what? Everything belongs to the balabais. Everything belongs to the balabais. So watch this. The Gemara says, Tana Abanon, Misasasei Avanim, Ein Ba Mishum Gezer. What's this? Fascinating. Wood, stone cutters. Stone cutters or stone shavers, quite literally. Stone cutters. The shavings of stone cutting, there's no gezel. There's no theft, which means what? Who gets to keep the shavings? Who gets to keep the shavings? The craftsman. Craftsman will say, watch this. Yet, mefaske ilanos, mefaske gifanim, menakfi higi. We have to both say, again, what we call the shavings. It's not really the shavings, like the trimmings. You're trimming trees, you're pruning trees, you're pruning bushes. You're pruning vines, right? Or menachshe zuraim, or you go ahead and you pull out weeds from vegetables. V'odre yirakos, or you go ahead and you pull out the weeds by vegetable. Or there's also weeding vegetables. So we'll say, watch this. Bizman shabalabais makbid aleim yeshum shem gezel. If the balabais wants them back, then ultimately again there is gezel. Then there is theft. Ein balabais makbid aleim. However, you could come in. It's okay. Ein balabais makbid aleim. But if the balabais, thank you so much. But if the balabais is not makbid on them, the balabais is not makbid on them, then hare elu shalo. Then ultimately, again, you could keep all of these different trimmings, all of these different weeds. So Rabbi Yehuda says as follows: Kashos v'chazis ein ba mishum gezel. So Rabbi Yehuda says kashos are hops, chazis is green grain, type of inferior grain. There's no gezel. Ba'asra the kap yeshem gezel. But if you live in a place where the owners are makbid on these items, then ultimately, again, there is gezel. So the Gemara says, Amravina or masa mechasya asra the kaptihu. So Ravina says Masa Machase is an example ultimately of a place where people are makbid even on small things like hops or things like green grain. I will say, look how the Masechta ends. And Chaver, listen, I know the meatballs are very entertaining, but I just want to tell you, but Lamaisa also, listen to this incredible distinction. It's interesting to see that the Mishnah says that everyone agrees that the stone cutter is permitted to keep the shavings of his stones, right? Isn't that fascinating? There's no machlokas over there. Stone cutter could always keep the shavings of his stone. Yet what? Yet, if you go ahead and you trim your trees, you prune your trees, you go ahead and you weed your vegetables, that already, again, the balabais may be makbid. Both say it sounds totally counterintuitive, right? I would think that the truth is stone shavings are so much more meaningful than weeding or leftover vines or leftover. So we'll say, what's the pshat? What's the difference? It's very simple. The difference is like this. They will say, what can you do with stone shavings? What can you do with stone shavings? The answer is nothing. Right? You could keep them, you could make them. I don't know what you could do with it, but Lamaisa, here's what I would tell you is, with stone shavings, you can't create anything else. With pruning from a vine, from a tree, with gardening, I will say, what can you use that for? What can you use that for? You could compost. I don't mean to ruin anyone's appetite, although I'm not ruining anyone's appetite, right? So you could compost. So I will say, you take those things, and you could utilize them to go ahead and cause other things to grow. So I will say, what the Gemara is saying is like this. The balabais, whatever Baal Shem Tov says, whenever you see balabais in the Gemara, the balabais is always merames. It's always a metaphor to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So what is the Ribono Shalom makbid on? The Ribono Shalom is makbid on shavings when they could go ahead and produce additional life, where they could produce additional growth. If the shavings are just shavings and they're not going to facilitate any more growth, Kadosh Baruch Hu says, I don't care about that. That doesn't matter. The only type of shavings in life that have any level of meaning are the things that could engender growth in something else. And I both say, what it comes down to in life is a person has to ask themselves, are you a stone? Am I a stone? Or ultimately, again, am I a tree, a vine, or a vegetable? The shavings, the things that come off me, do they facilitate growth in those around me? Or a stone is very beautiful. And a stone is incredible because what does a stone do? With a stone, you could create an incredible life. So I'll tell you, we got some of the samples for the stone for our new building. Beautiful. With stone, we need a donor. But with stone, right? With stone, you could create a beautiful edifice. But stone doesn't create additional growth. Stone is what it is. It's beautiful, it's fantastic, but it's never going to create new life. Stone shavings, you can make something beautiful, but it will never create something new. But you take the trimmings of a tree, the trimmings of a bush, the trimmings of the hedges, you weed the vegetables, and so those things which the Welt says are so irrelevant and so valueless, yet you put them back into the ground, and they can engender so much growth. I will say life is not just about what you do for yourself, but life is also about your shavings. What comes off you? What is it that you're giving out to the world around you? Are you just a beautiful stone? And you look beautiful, your edifice is fantastic, but you're not facilitating growth in anything or anyone around you? Or are you a tree, a vine, a bush, a vegetable, where even the stuff that's harvested off facilitates growth all around me? So let's say that's how Gemara Maseches Baba Kama ends. What do you want to be in life? You want to be a beautiful but inanimate object that engenders no growth in anything around you? Or do you want to be something maybe that doesn't sparkle as much? Maybe it's not as eye-catching, but it facilitates growth in anything and everything around you. The Balabayis doesn't care about stone shavings, because stone shavings don't do anything. But the Balabayis absolutely cares about the shavings, the organic shavings that engender growth. And I will say, the Balabayis HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants us more than anything, not simply to be beautiful stones, but he wants us to be beautiful trees, beautiful vegetables, beautiful bushes, beautiful vines. That we're beautiful in ourselves, but that which comes off us gives life as well. I will say, when we learn the daf, and those of us who Baruch Hashem have been learning the daf for a while know, the beauty of the daf is, the daf doesn't make you into a stone. The daf makes you into a tree. Because when you learn the daf, the shavings of your learning inspire your wife, inspire your children, inspire the home, inspire your chaverim. There are a lot of very nice things in life that you could do, and they make you into a beautiful stone. But the daf makes you into the kind of person where not only are you beautiful, not only are you holy, but you emote that holiness, you emote that goodness, and that which comes out from your learning engenders growth in everyone and everything around you. And I will say, it has been a tremendous zechus for the last 119 days. And I have to give a special hakar to Satov Shabbai Richter. Baruch Hashem is joining us for the Daf Yomi as well. He does such a beautiful and incredible job, Baruch Hashem, giving the Daf for us as well. And I'll come on Akiva Kovacs, who is not here with us tonight, who does a beautiful job as well, helping to move the shir forward. I will say it has been an incredible journey, an incredible zechus over the last 119 days. And I think part of the beauty of a night like tonight is we become trees for each other. On a night like this, each of us are luminescent, and each of us are shining so bright. And this, I will say, is a tremendous honor. There are people in this room that never thought they would ever finish a Masechta, right? There are people in this room who never thought they'd finish Shas, and there are people in this room who have finished Masechtas but never thought they would ever like learning Torah again. We have a whole mix of people over here. I will say we are trees for one another. That which comes off me inspires you, and that which comes off you inspires me. We're not stones. We're organic, growth-oriented materials. And the Balabayis doesn't care about stones. The Balabayis only cares about things that could engender growth for themselves and engender growth all around as well. We have grown together over the last 119 days. And I just want to point out, look, the world has changed so much in the last 140 plus days. Am Yisrael is at war, Eretz Yisrael is at war, and it's been overwhelming. I both say, yet you know what the incredible thing is? In life, when life is turbulent, the most important thing you need is an anchor. I both say the daf is the anchor. For the chevra here that doesn't learn the daf, get your act together and start learning the daf. I would say everybody needs an anchor. Everybody needs a constant. Everybody needs something that roots themselves in a beautiful reality of holiness, because the world is so tumultuous and our circumstances are so tumultuous, and the daf keeps us grounded. The daf keeps the roots growing. The daf keeps the branches growing. The daf keeps the tree growing. And when we continue to grow, not only do we benefit as individuals, but Baruch Hashem, everyone around us gets to share in that growth with us. Shabbos, we should be Zochem Yeretz Hashem. that as we go ahead and we finish this beautiful inside, I just want to point out one other thing. I guarantee you that I don't know how old this structure is. In the history of Baltimore, there has never been a siyum in this place. I can say that with almost absolute certainty. Rabbi Levi Yitzchak says, Rabbi Yitzchak B'disha says that when you come and you make a siyum, you do a davar shebekdusha in a place where there was never a davar shebekdusha done, you go ahead and you're ma'ale nitzotzos. You raise up sparks of holiness. Because in every place in the world, there are always sparks. Those sparks are often obscured by klipos, by shells of impurity. And when Yidden, a group of holy Jews, come and do davar shebekdusha in the place where there was never kedusha before, they remove all of the klipos, remove all of the shells, and lift up all the nitzotzos. I will say, tonight, we've added more kedusha into the world. Because for the first time in the history of the Baltimore Rowing Club, right, there's a siyum, one, Baltimore and Water, is that what it's called? Right? Baltimore Water. Okay, I don't know, whatever. It might be a shtick level, the Zara, but we'll leave that on the side. Don't look there, don't look. So it's like, in the history of this, I will say, there was never a mincha ma'ariv davened on that deck. It never happened before. There was never, I'm not a historian, I'm positive. There was never a mincha ma'ariv davened on that deck. We were zocha to be ma'alav and nitzotzos on that deck. And there was never a simon sechta in this place. I will say, that's what it means to be a tree. When you're a tree, the stuff that comes off you gives off kedusha as well. It's not just our own learning, but it's the extra kedusha that it brings us. So we should be zocha me'eretz Hashem, then the merit of this siyum. We should all continue, me'eretz Hashem, to be beautiful, strong trees, growing in our own ruchnius, growing in our own holiness, and at the same time, me'eretz Hashem, giving and adding holiness to all of those around us. We should be zocha me'eretz Hashem to lift up the sparks wherever we go. Our learning should be a schus for ourselves, for our mishpachos, for our community. But most importantly, during these difficult and overwhelming times, our learning should be a schus for each and every one of our precious soldiers who go out and are moser nefesh for Am Yisrael and Eretz Yisrael each and every day. Our learning should be a schus for the 134 hostages, our brothers and sisters, whose whereabouts are unknown, whose condition is unknown, and who we think about, and we daven for, and we learn for, and we pray for, and we cry for each and every day. They should feel the power of our learning. They should feel the power of our trees. HaKadosh Baruch Hu should see how come every day, it doesn't matter what's happening in the world. There's peace, there's not peace, there's war. It doesn't matter. We show up. Let's say we show up. We show up. That's what the daf means. You're tired, you get up. You didn't sleep enough, you get up. You don't feel like it, you get up. It doesn't make a difference. It doesn't make a difference. There are no excuses. There's no out. The Ribono Shel Olam should see our unequivocal commitment to Him. And we should be Zocha Meretz Hashem to experience that reciprocal, unequivocal commitment from Him. And we should be Zocha Meretz Hashem say that our next Yom Bab Mitzvah, as beautiful as this venue is, shouldn't take place here, but Meretz Hashem should take place in a rebuilt Yerushalayim, with all of our hostages home, with all of our soldiers safely embedded with their families, with the rebuilt Beis HaMikdash, with the Malach HaMashiach Mihira B'Yameinu. Amen. Hadron Allah, Hagoz Al Basra, Uslik Allah, Meseches Baba Kama. Now my pleasure to ask Dovi Elman to recite the Hadron.
I got it. Where's he going? Here? Yeah. What's your walk-up music?
Never good to follow ourselves. Hadron Allah Maseches Baba Kama V'Hadron Allah Daitan Allah Maseches Baba Kama V'Daita Chalan Lo Nishn Seminach Maseches Baba Kama V'Lo Sishn Seminan Lo Ba'amadin V'Lo Ba'amad Yaseh Hadron Allah Maseches Baba Kama V'Hadra Chalan Daitan Allah Maseches Baba Kama V'Daita Chalan Lo Sishn Seminan Maseches Baba Kama V'Lo Sishn Seminan Lo Ba'amadin V'Lo Ba'amad Yaseh Hadron Allah Maseches Baba Kama V'Hadra Chalan Daitan Allah Maseches Baba Kama V'Daita Chalan Lo Nishn Seminach Maseches Baba Kama V'Lo Sishn Seminan Lo Ba'amadin V'Lo Ba'amad Yaseh Yir Tzam Lefanecha Adonai Eloheinu v'Le'av Asenu Shetei Toras Chav Umanasenu B'Olam Hazeh Tehei Imanu L'Olam Haba. Chanina bar Papa, Rami bar Papa, Nachman bar Papa, Achai bar Papa, Abba Mari bar Papa, Rafram bar Papa, Rachish bar Papa, Surcha bar Papa, Ada bar Papa, Daru bar Papa. Harav Noah Adonai Eloheinu Divrei Torasecha Bifinu Fifios Amcha B'Yisrael V'Niyah Kulanu Nachnu V'Sateinu V'Satei Amcha B'Yisrael Kulanu Yodei Shemecha V'Lomdei Torasecha Lishma V'Oyevei Tzeichach Meinu Mitzvosecha Ki Liolam Hayili Yi libi tamid b'chukacha l'man lo yavosh li'olam lo eshkach b'kudecha ki bam chayisani baruch ato Adonai lamdenu chukacha amen 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 sela v'ed modem anachnu lefanecha Adonai Eloheinu v'lei avosenu shesamta chokenu miyoshvei beis hamedrash v'lo samta chokenu miyoshvei karanos she'anu maskimim v'hei mashkimim anu mashkimim u'divrei Torah v'hei mashkimim u'divarim b'telim anu amelim v'hei amelim Anu amelim b'kam schar, v'hem amelim v'anu b'kam schar. Anu ratzim v'hem ratzim. Anu ratzim l'chayim halba, v'hem ratzim l'ver shachas. Shnemar v'atem elohim toridim, l'ver shachas anshe dam mirma, lo yachasu yimehem v'ani yaftach bach. Yiratzam l'fanecha Adonai Elohai, Geshem Shazatan l'sayim Meseches Baba Kama, Kein Tazrein l'haskil Mesechos Usvarim Achirim, V'l'sayamim V'lilmod Lam Lishmor Laskil Chaim Skol Divri Tamos Sarsecha B'Yava. Zechos kol tanam v'amaram tamidei chacham yamu li l'zari shelo tambush haTorah mepi mefi zara zari adolam. V'his kayim bi v'his alecha tancha osach v'shechlecha tishmor alecha v'akitosehi tishichecha ki bi yirba yimecha v'yosifa lecha shnos chayim orech yemim b'yamina yismola usar v'chovad Adonai ozli amotin Adonai yivarech esam v'vashalam.
Bigger letters, thank you. Thank you. Yikadav yikadav shemei rabba, b'madidu ati l'achorta v'l'achava matava v'l'markau yaton l'chai l'ama v'l'machnakarta Yerushalayim v'l'shachlala hechala bin aveh v'l'merkar pulchana nichra min ara v'l'atava pulchana dishmaya l'atre Yamrit kutshav v'yichru v'malchutei v'kareh Mishichei b'chayachon v'menchon b'chay d'kolbei Yisrael b'agalav esman karib v'imru amen. Yesh mei rabban v'aram v'alam v'meo mayai v'aram fishtabachi parvi termambi naseh v'tadar v'taleh v'talal shmei d'kudshav v'richu le'lam en kol b'chatav v'shir atatish b'chatav v'nekmata damiram be'olama v'imru amen. Al Yisrael v'arabanan v'al tamidei hon v'al kol tamidei hon Commandos Kimbo right Adivat Radid Kalatar Beatar Elakon Khon Shlam Rabba Khina Bakaz Darakamin Bkhayina Rakhim Zanor Bikhah Bakana Mekadamabo Divishmaya Rabba Imru Amen Yeshlam Rabba Min Shmaya Bakhayim Tovim Aleinu Val Yisrael Imru Amen Aseh Shalom Bimrama Barakama Yaseh Shalom Aleinu Val Yisrael Imru Amen
no idea what you just said.
Right now? Come on, man.
It's
I'd ask everyone to please wash so we can start the buffet so the food doesn't get cold, and then they're going to play music. Thank you.
John.
together. If you wanna travel fast, travel alone. If you wanna travel fast, travel alone. If you wanna travel far, travel far. Down this winding road, travel together. If you wanna be alive, you wanna be human, you got to give, you got to give. If you wanna be a light, you wanna be human, and to forgive, to forgive. I was searching for a way to get closer. I was far from myself, away from home. I was searching in the night, with eyes wide open, searching for a way to get closer. What does it mean to be alive? It means to be human. You got to give, you got to give. What does it mean to be a light? It means to be human. Give me your hand.
Testing. Yeah, no, I was just probably, the thermostat is down. I said the thermostat is already 65. I would just put a chair by that door, just prop it up. We'll say good evening, good evening. If I can have your attention, please.
Two people that are on.
If I can have your attention, please. First of all, it is an incredible sales function. Welcome everyone. This year, from Second Spot coming to begin with a couple of thank yous. First of all, tremendous thank you to Jonas and Kaplan, our favorite. There's plenty of food, so please help yourself. Jonathan, thank you. Absolutely beautiful, delicious, and incredible. And thank you for working so hard to make such a beautiful evening come together. And I also want to give a very special thank you, that I don't think she's here anymore, to Shira Rosenblum, who is responsible for the entire decor. The setup over here tonight. Really incredible, really beautiful. I also want to give a thank you to Chana Esther Fogel, who is responsible for the beautiful bookmarks. If you notice on your table, there are leather bookmarks. Here, I'm going to say Siyum. It's pleather. It's real pleather. Okay, so again, really a beautiful, beautiful keepsake from tonight's Siyum. I want to give a very special thank you to Larry Franks for supplying us tonight with the wine and the liquor. Tremendous. Thank you so much. A very special thank you to Larry for really coming up with a beautiful arrangement of wines from Eretz Yisrael. Hopefully you'll get to sample them a little bit. Larry, thank you so much. I'll say tonight, we Baruch Hashem, when we were planning this scene from the Second Bava Kama, and of course a very incredible thank you to all the Chevra providing for us the beautiful music tonight, the incredible singing. We don't do anything without beautiful Shira and Nagina. We are so privileged, Baruch Hashem, to have a Chevra who is able to produce such beautiful results. When we were planning the Siyum for the Second Bava Kama, so I called up Zevi and I said to Zevi, like, I really want to do something incredibly unique. Something incredibly unique. So we thought about it for a little bit and we came up with things like the Knish Shop party room. And then Zevi had the incredible foresight to enlist the help of David Schwartz. And David Baruch Hashem really went out on a full mission to be able to find us. And then David one day calls us up and tells us that, okay, I found this place, the Baltimore Water and Rowing Company. I think that's the official name here, right? Something like that. So like, okay, sounds nice. There's a guy on a boat, right? And there's water, and it sounds fantastic. And we came down here, we did a little site visit. And I just want to tell you, when we did the site visit, the room didn't exactly look like this. This is Baruch Hashem, the result of an incredible amount of people, an incredible amount of involvement. But I really want to give a thank you because what was really exciting about tonight's Siyum is that there were a number of really incredible people who were working very hard on it. I want to thank Zevi Daniel. I want to thank David Schwartz, Zvi Friedman, and of course, again, I mentioned Jonas and Kaplan as well before, but again, Baruch Hashem, it was such a beautiful and collaborative effort. It was exciting to plan it. You know, a Siyum is a real Simchas HaTorah, and as such, it deserves something really mechubad. It deserves something really beautiful. But the truth is, the place is only the show. What makes the place glow is the Chevra. Baruch Hashem, we are truly privileged to have such a beautiful and such a special Chevra with whom we get to learn each and every day. And it's beautiful. The Chevra is, of course, again, this is the Chevra that we learn with in person, but Baruch Hashem, we also take the opportunity to acknowledge our extended virtual Chevra, those who join us every morning from Eretz Yisrael and beyond, faraway places like New York and New Jersey, and Baruch Hashem, California, and South Africa, and many different places where people join us. Toronto, Baruch Hashem, where people join us from, and it's really just, it's such a source to be able to have everyone together, to learn together. We have a couple of really, please, Chevra, enjoy, eat, and drink, and have a good time and enjoy. We're going to have a couple of really beautiful and meaningful speakers tonight for our first, I'll call it Dvar Torah, Divrei Hisorus, words of transformational inspiration. My pleasure to call upon Avi Fogel.
Thank you, Rabbi. Thank you very much.
I do, yeah. Thank God. So make sure. I don't know if I'm going to read them. It's okay.
Here I have his flashlight.
I should have printed it a little bit bigger. I'm a little older, but figure it out. Thank you, Rabbi Silver, for giving me this opportunity to speak last night, late, without much more notice than that. But it's going to be great. Chevra, I'd like to personally thank all of you for your individual contribution to our amazing Kehillah. And I say our, because while I was involved in Suburban for many years here and there, the last few years coming out of COVID, our family has more fully embraced the community, our inimitable and indefatigable Rav, and all the enriching programming and shiurim offered in our thriving Beis HaMikdash Muad. Shout out to Yoni Frager. It's my happy birthday, exactly. Yoni encouraged me to join the DAF when we began Bava Kama, and a major yasher koach to my stalwart wife, Hannah Esther, who also made the beautiful bookmarks. She immediately embraced the idea, despite my many, many alarms waking her up at that absurdly early hour, and her agreement to wake up our older son for Minyan Carpal. If I'm honest with you all, and myself, of course, I did not really think it would stick. I'm more of a night owl by nature, but I felt a certain commitment to Yoni, to you all, and to my family to demonstrate the importance and value of finding time in the day to be Kovea Itim. The positive rush of energy that I personally receive from learning and davening all before 7:30 a.m. is a bit addictive. There is a certain sense of profound accomplishment, and it isn't even 8 a.m. in the morning. The feeling of wrapping up in a tallis and tefillin and focusing my energy first thing on our Creator and the benevolence shown to us every day is a major dopamine rush. Maybe I ought to just quit while I'm ahead, right, and go back home and take a nap, but not so fast. We continue our learning as a Kehillah in the evenings with the Amud Yomi light version, Hilchas Shabbos, and a spiritual infusion of the Piagetzna's Hasidus. True fellowship with the book ending of legitimate Kovea Itim morning and night. There is a concept that we should ask Hashem to keep us busy, mostly so we stay out of trouble. Well, I, for one, am very busy, and the structure that DAF forces upon my daily routine is a protective shield against the forces of the Yetzer Hara and my natural inclination to, I don't know what they call it, doom scroll, so to speak, whether it's on my phone or through a myriad of other distractions that aim to grab my attention all the time, like always, even now. The DAF it demands that I get to bed at a reasonable hour. Our children can see what my wife and I are now modeling through this routine. And when it happens on an occasion that I wake up my son, because I didn't make it to the DAF, his first words are, "Why are you here?" All our kids know now that I am not available past 10 p.m., and I think that they get it. This week's Parsha, Ki Sisa, challenges us to examine our own core beliefs and daily practices, urging us to remain vigilant against the allure of false gods. During the reading of this week's Parsha, we are prompted to consider the nature of our Amunah and Bitachon in the face of constant temptations of the proverbial idolatry in our own very lives. Are we too quick to seek substitutes for spiritual fulfillment? Do we prioritize material comforts or worldly desires over our commitment to spiritual growth and Torah values? As we celebrate our collective accomplishment of completing Bava Kama and begin anew with Bava Metzia, the second tractate in Ezekiel, and we review the teachings of Ki Sisa, let us reflect on the enduring relevance of its lessons for our own lives and the damages that we avoid when we busy ourselves with learning Torah. May we find the strength and fortitude and hatzlacha to resist those temptations of today's idolatry and cultivate a deeper awareness of Hashem's presence in everything we do on our daily quest to connect with our Kadosh Baruch Hu.
Chevra, please go inside, take a little bit more food, or give you a little break in Meretz Hashem.
Outside.
Or if you want to spazier a little bit outside. Actually, you know what? I'm sorry? Zevi said it's lovely outside.
Picture time.
It's lovely outside. All right, so you know, so maybe what we'll do is,
Let's go around the outside, around the outside.
that again, while everyone is still enjoying, I would like to ask, you know, as I mentioned before, one of the most beautiful things, and again, you guys don't get to see it, but the truth is I get to see it, and the truth is I should take an opportunity to really give a very special thank you to some other people who really helped to facilitate the daf, not just in-house, but mamish globally as well. To give an incredible thank you to Moshe Abramson. Poor guy, you know, he walks into shul and already he knows, like, if he locks eyes with me, something's wrong. Something's not working, something's this. But Moshe is always there and always is looking to Meretz Hashem figure out the way we could grow our chevra and the way we in Meretz Hashem could be married within our kila. Along those same lines, I owe a tremendous amount of ourselves to Jeremy Lassen. Where's Jeremy? All right, he intentionally walked out. Okay, got it. Thank you. Tremendous thank you. Really, Jeremy as well, like Baruch Hashem, always available and always willing to help with anything big or small. A tremendous thank you to Rabbi Ari Lerner, who makes the coffee every single day. Really tremendous. And when Ari's not there, a tremendous thank you to Saeed, who Baruch Hashem again is not here with us tonight because of Avelos, but we truly appreciate his efforts. And because in Daf Yomi we have greater levels of succession than the United States government, because at the end of the day, the coffee has to get done. So if Ari's not Jeremy, just in time, Jeremy, I want to thank you on behalf of the entire show. Your incredible help for everything that you're doing. Tremendous yashikach. Thank you. So if Ari's not there, and if Saeed's not there, I want to thank Steve Golaskov. And Steve, I'm sorry? I know. So Steve is not here with us tonight because Baruch Hashem, he's in Eretz Yisrael celebrating the birth of a grandson. Baruch Hashem. We thank Steve so much. And again, just a tremendous thank you to everyone who really just helps out so much with the daf. One of the beautiful things that we have, like I was saying, that I get to see and that you guys don't get to see is that from every single morning, there's a whole Zoom chevra. There's a Zoom chevra that logs on. And it's really beautiful because the truth is, amazingly enough, at this point in time, which is really beautiful, the majority of the Zoom chevra is from Eretz Yisrael, which is something really special and incredibly unique, that the opportunity that we have to learn live with the Chevra in Eretz Yisrael. For me, as a personal level, I wish more than anything to be in Eretz Yisrael. If I can't be in Eretz Yisrael, at least the ability to teach Torah in real time in Eretz Yisrael is an incredible schos. In addition to Eretz Yisrael, we have one representative from the Sunshine State, from Florida, who every single morning logs on Zoom and is Baruch Hashem with us live for DAF, and that's Aaron Raskis. It is my pleasure to ask Aaron to share with us a few words.
Oh, because you're from Florida all of a sudden.
I wasn't asked to do this because I'm capable of giving words of inspiration, I don't think. I don't think I was asked to do this because of my long-standing perseverance or long-standing commitment or my consecutive game record streak appearing for the DAF, because I'm a newbie. I'm really someone that just adopted it recently. I think Rabbi Silber asked me, and it's impossible to say no when the Rav asks to speak, because I guess I represent something unique. And that is the ability, I represent the reach of this community and this year to connect to anyone who wishes to reach out and connect to it. Rabbi Sachs comments on the fact that the word for life in Hebrew is chayim. It's plural, it's a plural word. And one can only live a life in a community. Community is essential to living a fulfilled life. And often one appreciates things only after they're removed from it. I know everyone here appreciates what they have, but when you step back, when you step away from it, and you get to come back to it or to connect to it from afar, there's a different sense of appreciation that I think I've really come to know. And Rabbi Silbury, what you've done here is you've built something amazingly unique. No matter where I go around, anywhere, I mean, it's impossible to find a community like this. And it starts from the top down. It starts in the morning, as everyone knows, at 5:45 a.m. or earlier. It radiates from there throughout the day. I don't have to tell you how the shul is full of people, full of energy, full of Torah, from the morning through night. That radiates throughout the week. It radiates through the Jewish calendar, radiates through the Chagim, and it just radiates outward. And the reach, it's not just Daf Yomi, but to be able, again, you have the ability to walk into shul anytime you want. You have the ability to be there Shabbos. You have the ability to come at night. But for those of us from afar, the ability to just pick up a phone or connect on the computer and watch a shiur, watch a Emunah minute, and participate in the Daf Yomi is something really special. On a personal level, I needed something after October 7th, I think, and the timing was just right. And for me, it just changes my day, as I think everyone here recognizes. The day starts differently, it becomes different, and I believe my hanhagas, the way I lead my life, is different because of that start. And most important, just getting there, opening up the phone, clicking on it, and seeing your bright, shining face in the morning, full of energy, at 5:45 a.m., just motivates everyone. I know it just kickstarts my day, it energizes it, and I actually, make sure I run to the shul where I daven to get there early, so I could get on the phone just in time to see that. Rabbi Sachs talks about also this week's parsha, where Kosh Baruch Hu says, "Ki sisas bnei Yisrael," when you count bnei Yisrael. And there's lots of reasons given why you don't count Jews. Ein Hara, different reasons, at least Magefa. He has a very interesting insight, and that is, typically when you conduct a census, you conduct it to count your numbers, to see how much taxes you could raise, how large an army you can raise, how big your population is. But if you count Jews, and you start doing that and trying to count their numbers, it's going to become disillusioning. It's going to become disheartening. It's going to cause people to give up hope when you can count the numbers of the Jews compared to those around us. As I think Milton Himmelfarb once said it, the number of Jews in the world is like a statistical error in the Chinese census. We're so small. Instead, what does the Torah ask? Ki sisa es bnei Yisrael, v'nasan ish kofer nafsho b'fkod hasam. Everyone should give their contribution. You can't count the numbers, because if you count the numbers, it's not going to make an impression. But if you ask a Jew to contribute, and then you count their contributions, that tells you something. Jews are disproportionately contributing to the welfare of the world, and everyone has something special to contribute. And I think that's a lesson that everyone who comes to this Daf Yomi, who comes to shul, who clicks on a shiur to watch an Emunah minute or something, learns time and time and time again. And one of the beauties of this year is, sometimes if I miss it, or for some reason I have to do something, I'll click once in a while a different shiur. But the nuggets of life lessons that one gets from this year is just extraordinarily unique. And your ability to do that, to mine from a dry, what may otherwise be, if I have to say, a dry daf of Gemara, like the way we ended today, into a beautiful life lesson of stones and growth. But seriously, the ability to mine from every page of Daf Yomi, not one, maybe more lessons for the day, for life, is something unique, inspiring, and just a gem that we all share. And that is what I think you are able to do, and I'm grateful for it, for what I get from it. But I know that every person here is valued, everyone is counted, and just because I can't resist Rabbi Sachs' quotes, there's just one more, where he says, "Community is the human expression of divine love. It is where I am valued simply for who I am, how I live, and what I give to others. It is the place where they know my name." And that is what this community is because of what the Rav does. Everyone is valued, everyone contributes, everyone is valued for his or her contribution, and he knows everyone, and he knows everyone's name, and he makes everyone feel appreciated. And even clicking on from 1,000 miles away at 5:45 in the morning, I can tell you that that's the feeling that I get. And it just energizes my day, it warms my heart, and it makes me grateful to be part of this community, even from afar. So thank you for the opportunity to be here and for being able to share every morning and all the beauty of this community.
Take an opportunity to see the beautiful waterfront. We're going to continue our session in just a few moments. Really, there's plenty of food, plenty of wine to enjoy.
Good morning.
Did a really nice job. Some big words in there.
I knew there was only a few.
is still food if anybody is still hungry, and there's going to be dessert. But before we get dessert, I know that as the night goes on, we tend to we tend to lose the chevra a little bit. The people, Baruch Hashem, I know have other obligations as well. But I really just want to thank everyone who helped to make tonight so special, so beautiful. Also, I meant to mention there are still sponsorship opportunities available. Yes. So if you have not, if you want to sponsor in honor of a loved one, in memory of a loved one, in anticipatory excitement for a loved one, in honor of the birth of a new baby, in honor of someone else's new baby, whatever it might be. But Chavra, on a serious level, we could use still a few more sponsorships. So if there is anyone who would like to sponsor, you could please see Zevi Daniel or Menachem Schoenfeld. Either of them will be happy to Amir Hashem take your sponsorship information, and we would greatly appreciate it. For our last speaker for tonight. And then Amir Hashem will have dessert. Then after dessert, Amir Hashem benching. And then, of course, again, we're going to fabrang a little bit, a little kumzitz, a little music, a little singing, a little dancing. Amir Hashem. Enjoy the outdoors. It's actually very warm outside now. It's quite beautiful. Quite beautiful and enjoyable. It's magnificent. It's probably about 60, 70 degrees already tonight. 70, right? It's going to be much warmer. Look, you can tell the flag's not blowing. When the flag's not blowing, that means there's no wind. It's perfect. It's perfect. For our last speaker for this evening, I will say, one of the incredible things that we have in our general kihila, and I think also especially in our shir, is that Baruch Hashem, we're not a group of spectators. We all recognize that in order to make anything happen in life, whether it's in a shir or whether it's in a shul or whether it's in a community, you can't just sit back, relax, and expect someone else to do the work. But if you truly want something to happen, you have to be ready to do the work yourself. And so Baruch Hashem, our shir and our kihila is blessed with so many people like that, so many incredible people, so many of them are here. And the truth is, one of those people is Zevi Daniel. And Zevi's one of those people where you could call him up with an idea, as I often do, an idea in its not even infancy but embryonic stage, and say, Zevi, could we make this happen? And Zevi's like, okay, and in the same week it could be a siyum, Yarchei college trip to the Rebbe's Ohel, and matzah baking. And that was actually all in 1 week. That was all. I mean, it's not all happening in 1 week, but all of those ideas were thrown out to Zevi in 1 week, and Baruch Hashem, he together with a lot of other chevra are helping to make this happen. So I always say, if you're here and you don't feel that you're involved enough, there are so many opportunities to get involved. There's so much to do. And if you have an idea for the aliyah, for the chevra, something for the collective spiritual benefit, or you have the cheshek to want to participate in something, to help in something, get involved. Because at the end of the day, the only thing that's better than coming and receiving is coming and receiving and knowing that you did something to help facilitate the entire experience. And Baruch Hashem, that's how things get done, and that's how things happen, and we are truly privileged to have a chevra who's willing to roll up their sleeves and really get to work. So it's my pleasure for our last speaker for this evening, and ask Reb Zevi to share with us a few words.
First of all, how beautiful is Baltimore, right? Anybody here from Baltimore, right? It's a peaceful, bucolic almost. You see the they painted horses on those, whatever they're called, I don't know, those fuel towers to make them pretty. A tremendous thank you, Rebbe. That was beautiful, and hello everybody in Eretz Yisrael. Was it 3 a.m., 4 a.m.? I don't know who we're streaming to, but whoever's actually watching this, it is a total honor that I'm here. And if you're tuned in, amazing. Also, a tremendous shout out to the team who made this happen, to my dear friend and my brother, David Schwartz, to Larry Franks, and to Tzvi Friedman, to John Kaplan, and of course, Rabbi Silver, who, if you've ever planned anything with Rabbi Silver, it is an experience. It's an incredible experience. And you have to do it, to feel it, to know it. When you do, you'll know, and you'll come back to me. Rabbi Silver asked me to speak last second, which is actually excellent, because had he asked me to speak last week or 2 weeks ago, I would have put it off till the last second. So it would have been all the same. It's fine. So Rabbi Silver asked me to say, all right, Zevi, don't freak out. Just speak from the heart. Turn on the Lokai song, and then close your eyes, and just think about, what does Daf mean to me? What does Daf mean to me? And Daf means a lot to me. Daf really plays a tremendous part of my life. It plays a tremendous role in my life, and to share that with you and with I feel like the crowd here is my extended family. It means so much to me. But just hearing the speakers tonight, I don't know how it's possible. Every time we have speakers, they all have this transformative story of redemption, of rags to riches. And I was in Papua New Guinea, and then I heard Rabbi Silver, and all of a sudden I was flying an airplane, and I brought my Gemara.
You came all the way from there.
I can't. Right? I'm like, literally every story. I was in the military, and I was married to. Something. Everything's more ridiculous. Not ridiculous. Incredible. Ridiculous as Rebbe uses it. Ridiculous in a good way. Good way. And I'm like, I have a little bit of a story. I don't have like a ton. It's pretty milquetoast compared to everyone else. It's like, I can't do that. So I figured, where's Yanki's here? I said, maybe I'll do a requiem to Ahmed Bays, which was my idea. And I told Yankee Statman 2 years ago, but he did better than me, than I could ever do it. So what that means is that we don't do Ahmed Bays. Sorry, anyway, fine. The point is, all right, this is a cliche already. All right, fine. And then I was like, okay, let me talk about my ninja routine in the morning, and how like my kids get involved, and my daughter puts together. She does that the night before. She does the what's it called, the pour over. She sets up the pour over for me, and then I'm very good in the morning. I know how to tiptoe out. We have also a lot of sound machines. Sound machines. 2 tips for tonight: sound machine and uplights. Right, Howie? Uplights, right? Uplights fix everything. Sound machines also fix everything. Anyway, all right. Then I saw today's daf. I saw the Gemara on Ahmed Bays that Rebbe moves right through. I'm going to talk about the tapestry that is our shear, and that we are the warp, and we're the vertical lines, and Rabbi Silver is the weft, the one, the line that keeps. We didn't even like boom. It was supersonic, but I don't even know. Anyway, we love you. Rabbi Silver did say, speak about my son. I'll give him one. So Rabbi Silver said, maybe Zevi, speak about your son, because Rabbi Silver, I learned with my son on Eli's here. I'm so very honored to have my son here. Eli said, don't talk about me. I won't talk about him, but I'll say whatever. The point is that we chazer daf. Eli had Rabbi Rosenbaum last year in Israel, and he absolutely loved Baba Kama, and Baba Kama was like, he owned it. And so he was like, all right, Daddy, we'll learn Baba Kama together. So every weeknight, I think Motzei Shabbos we don't, right? But every that except Motzei and Friday night. Right, so 5 nights a week, we learn Chazer the daf. So, and on Mondays, before Old Smichas Chaber, right? What do we call it now? I don't know. Little Shabbos, right? We'll come back to it, maybe. Anyway, soon. We'll get back. We'll get the certificates for Nida. It'll be good. Yeah, we'll get it. The point is that so Rabbi Silver, I learned. I come to Schultz at 7 o'clock. I learned with Rabbi Silver. I learned with my son at 7 o'clock. Rabbi Silver, he's always touched me. So I said, you gotta talk about your son. So and that indeed touched a nerve. So very briefly, I want to discuss the commitment, and I think I'm not one to really speak about. Far be it from me to speak about commitment. I'm not that. I'm not a guru or whatever. But I just want to discuss a couple things that have helped me with commitment. And I have a couple of cheat codes that help make this overwhelming. You think about it, people don't wake up as early as we do. And the commitment that we have going together as a family is really one that is unusual. So I want to mention just a couple of cheat codes and then tell you a story and then I'll wrap it up. My cheat code number one is my dear friend David Schwartz. And Avi Fogel mentioned this about Yoni Frager. Now, David Schwartz, I 5:25. At 5:25, I wake up, then I hit a 5-minute snooze. And I'm sorry, that's why I come like a minute and a half late, maybe 4 minutes. 4 minutes. You see, by the way, he knows. Remember, someone knows. He knows. So 5:25. David Schwartz texts, he messages me, and I telegram him. Literally, I send him a telegram. That's the technology that David Schwartz is working with here. Wow. I love you, David. David Schwartz is my accountability partner. We've had this going. David Schwartz spoke about it, so I'm not going to belabor it. We've had this going since March 15, 2020. Every morning, we text each other, and David Flum, yes, Doc Brothers. And without David and Davidl, I can confidently say I would not be able to make this commitment that Baruch Hashem I've been able to, somewhat consistently been able to make over the past almost 6 years or so. David Schwartz, you need someone like David Schwartz in your life. If you don't have one, find one. Make one. Let's go, right? That's the wine talking. Right? Buy a David Schwartz. He's the best cheerleader, pump you upper you can ever find. And I'll fight you on this. I'll fight you on this outside right now. No? That's right. It's true. I'll fight you on this. All right, that's number one. So cheat code number one, find yourself an accountability partner. If you don't have one, if you don't have a Yomi Frager, if you don't have a David Schwartz, turn to the guy next to you. I hate when they do this, right? Turn to the guy to your right and find an accountability partner to say, hey, tomorrow, text me, let's go, pump me up. It's going to be a great day. It's going to be a great daf. Let's go. Right? That's what I get. That's the present that I get every day at 5:25. Cheat code number two. So that's number one. Find yourself a David Schwartz. Cheat code number two. I have Baruch Hashem. He told me not to speak about him. I have my son, my Eli Daniel. My Eli Daniel. This is really. I'm embarrassed to say this because it's like I'm bragging. It's like what's the word? Self. It's good. All right, it's good. I don't know, whatever. Eli Schwartz. Eli Daniel, my son, my wonderful son. He's not yours, David. Relax. I don't know how this happened, but Eli Daniel comes every day. He says, all right, Daniel, let's go. You ready? He's prepared. He learned the daf the night before. So he's prepared. He's on time, always on time. He might have a little bit of German blood. I do need to check the 23andMe. He calls me literally, right? 6:59 and 58 seconds without fail. And every night I go, oh. But it's like, okay, let's go. We got this. Because I'm like, okay, because I'm eating or like dinner, whatever. But without fail, Eli is incredibly on time. He's right. What did we say? We said tonight. We just said tonight. He said, my son is Eli. Elliot after my father, Shalom. But his name is Yitzchak Yisrael. We said tonight, Rabbi Yehuda said about Tcheles. He said the tzitzit, he says, Hakol ol l'minyan Tcheles. Right? He says, like, all right, if the measurement is, everything goes. But he says, my son, Yitzchak B'ni, that's Yitzchak B'ni, my son, is Kapin Elahu. He's super makdid. So my son, my Yitzchak B'ni, he's Kapin Elahu. This guy's Kapin on me. He doesn't let me make any shortcuts. He also doesn't make fun of me when we don't do Rashi, and he doesn't make fun of me when we do Tosfos. But on the other side, he makes fun of me when I'm not ready, or if I'm not prepared, or if I don't know the Gemara. He makes fun of me, but in a very gentle way, and not a chutzpah way. Point is, I'm very proud of you. So, if you don't have a David Schwartz to wake you up in the morning, to pump you up in the morning, or an Eli Daniel with whom to chazer with, okay, even if it's just one day a week, do it. It's going to help strengthen your commitment. Okay, so that's far be it for me to give advice, but I think that has certainly helped me. I'm just going to let you know. Okay. Let me tell you a story that I saw. No, two cheat codes. Two. So number one, get a pump you upper, get a David Schwartz. Number two, find someone to chazer with, even if it's just one day a week. Just find somebody. I'll tell you a story that I watched today. I saw the video is 2 weeks old, but this was like this dovetails a little bit with the message here. I saw this and it doesn't. I'm not going to do it justice at all, but maybe some of you saw it. There's a shul down in Bell Harbor, Ball Harbor, not Bell Harbor, Ball Harbor down in Bal Harbor. Is that the proper pronunciation? No, Bell Harbor is for Aquay. Florida. Thank you. Matt knows. There's a shul. There's literally, it's called the shul. That's how. When you know, you know. It's called THE with a capital T and shul with S, capital S. The shul. It's Rabbi Lipsker and Rebbetzin Lipsker. So Rebbetzin Lipsker tells a story. This happened in early February. Late January. So a woman and her husband came from Kfar Aza to the shul to speak to a group of women. It was a women's shir, which is a women's group, and they came to the shul to speak to them, and they came because they wanted to raise awareness to the situation that is going on, unfortunately. And the woman's father is one of the hostages. Rabbi Snipsker explains that they were not observant Jews. They were dressed nicely. They were not observant, but so the husband spoke, and then the wife spoke. And when she spoke, her body language was very down, depressed. She was just not, almost like not interested. And the moderator asked her, she says, okay, tell us why you're here. Like, what's your mission? Like, what brought you here? What brought you here to Bell Harbor from Israel? Like, tell us why you're here. And all she said was, like, again, she's very downtrodden. She said, I just want you to remember that I have a father. And that was it. That was really, she was so down. That was all she gave over. Rebbe Snipsker said she couldn't eat, she couldn't sleep, she didn't take care of her children, she didn't work anymore, she was just completely out of it. And, but to help her heal, the trauma experts in Israel, they said, go over to America and just change the scenery, talk about your situation, and maybe that'll help when you share your story. So they're talking, and the people asked her, the women asked her, say, what can we do? What can we do for you? How can we help? Like, they feel so helpless. So she said, please just raise awareness of what's going on. And Rebbetzin Lipsker felt almost like it wasn't enough. Like something, this is not helpful. She was almost like frustrated, and she said. Rebbetzin Lipsker said, she spoke up and said, she said, listen, the Torah portion that we just read, the Jews left Egypt, they left Mitzrayim, and they were left with 4 choices. We can either go back to Egypt, go back to Mitzrayim, we can commit suicide, we can fight, or we can pray. Okay? 4 choices. Moshe Rabbeinu speaks up and says, no, you need to move forward. You need to commit to life. You need to commit to just forward progress. And Rebbetzin Lipsker said, what you need to do is you need to continue to live. You need to go back to your kids. You need to play. You need to sing. You need to be the foundation. You need to just be their mother, the mother that they desperately need. And she said, listen, I don't know your situation. I can't judge, and I know this must be so challenging for you, but what would your father want you to do? What would your father want you to do? Would your father want you to be depressed, or would he want you to be as best a mother as you could be under this trying situation? Okay, so Rebbetzin Lipsker then said to the crowd, what should we do for these people? What should we do? We can't fight, we can't go there, we can't take up arms, we can't be there in Israel, but we can't sit back either and just enjoy the sun of Miami Beach. So what should we do? So Rebbetzin Lipsker turned to the husband. So again, the wife, her name is Natalie, and the husband's there. She turns to the husband and she says, if we got you a pair of tefillin, would you agree? Would you commit to putting them on every day. And maybe in that merit, perhaps in that merit of you putting on that tefillin, you'll have those chut and you'll pray that there should be no more orphans and no more hostages and no more soldiers risking their lives and no more crying and no more pain. And pray that this is the time for redemption. And she looks at him and he's reticent, right? It's a big commitment. They were not observant. He's reticent. He has like a small smile on his face. And she says, just say yes. Just say yes. And he like shook his head. He nods his head. So she says, tomorrow, come by my husband's office and pick up a pair of tefillin. And then she turns to Natalie. She turns to the wife. And she says, okay, Natalie, what can we do for you? So Natalie responds. She said, can you get me another pair of tefillin? I want another pair of tefillin. I'm going to put them aside, and when my father comes home, when my father's released, I'm going to commit for him that he too will wear them, and he's going to pray for those same merits, that there's no more hostages, and there's no more soldiers, and there's no more orphans, and there's no more pain, and then we have the redemption. And she said that, and Rebbetzin Lipsker, the way she says the story, she says after she made that comment to say, get me that pair of tefillin for my father, she became a different person. Her shoulders, like she became, like she had like life in her. Her body language was completely different. She now had a purpose. She now had this commitment, this purpose to look forward to. And the way Rebbetzin Lipsker says it, she says she felt this love coming, emanating from the entire crowd. Like, you got this, and we're here for you, and we love you, and we're all in it together, and we all feel you, and we're going to do it together. And that's where the story ended. That's where the story ended. That's the end of the video. But it's not the end of the story. That was mid-January, end of January. 2 weeks later, on February 11th, Luis Norberto Har was rescued by the IDF, and he was able to wear those tefillin that his daughter had committed for him to wear. That's the power. That's the power of commitment. That's the power of channeling your life to a greater purpose. So I heard this story and I thought about how lucky we are to be also committed to such a powerful journey, to such a conduit, an electric conduit that gives us meaning to the Daf Yomi. But it's not just that in a vacuum. It's not just a journey alone with our Gemara, with the Daf Yomi, which would be enough. Dayenu. It's not a journey alone. This journey, this journey requires us to travel far. Travel far. And we just sang together, we just say, if you want to travel far, you have to travel together. And that's what we're doing. That's the only way we're going to do it. So, like I said, with David Schwartz and with all of your David Schwartzes. But that's not. But if that would be enough, so a journey with purpose and a journey together, that would be enough. Dayinu. But we have it better. We have it better. We have not only a journey together with this incredible family. We have a journey led by our dear Rebbe, our friend, our Yedid Ne'aman, our Rebbe who puts in so much time and so much devotion and so much effort. You think about the past few months of Gemara, how hard it has been and how much time it must take to prepare. And the effort, but not just ensuring that it's a good daf and it's that we learn, but that it's a meaningful daf. There are so many ways nowadays to consume Baruch Hashem, to consume Daf Yomi. You could do it. There's shiurim for men, and there's shiurim for women, and there's shiurim online, and there's on Zoom, and there's shiurim in person, and you could do it with Lumdis and in Yiddish or in any language. They have shiurim with cartoons and in rhyme and rap and who knows what, PowerPoints and props and costumes, and they're all wonderful. They're all wonderful. But we have a Rebbe who infuses every single daf with meaning for our day, and with a nugget, or like Avi and Aaron said, or many nuggets of Musar that can change our lives. Nuggets like, Rebbe literally wrung Musar from a rock. He wrung water from a rock. Not a rock, rock shavings. Rock shavings. Not even a rock, for goodness sakes. For rock shavings. To take a Masechta and say, you know what, we're gonna infuse this with meaning, not just with our Torah and with our Musar, but we're gonna learn it L'Zecher Nishmas, Le'ilu Nishmas, Reveli B'chal Harush, Hashem Yom Kandomo. To infuse that with meaning, that's our Rebbe. That's our Rebbe, and how lucky we are to have that commitment together. So, anyway, I'll wrap up. Here is to us together, continuing that commitment, to doubling down on that commitment, and here is to us traveling far together.
Great job. Beautiful. Awesome.
Wow, that's beautiful. That was really amazing. Really big travel.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Amazing. Brilliant.
We still get it like once a week. Is your brothers? Wait, so who's older? People don't know either of those.
I was like, Musa from Iraq. That's you and Moshe.
Moshe brought water from Iraq. I got every little Moshe.
Bye.